Hello everybody, this is I Command TV Boy coming at you with some live commentary on this game. Brought to you courtesy of friend of the show, David Gao over in the UK. You might remember him from the Lothcats matchup. And this is a store tournament happening over there in the UK, and a match between Isaac Borno and Andy Brazier. You'll hear some of the players chatting here in the beginning. And this is a IACP game, Season 1.
Whoa, wait, what happened?
That is David's wife, I believe. You hear there, Jessica?
So, there have been some bold choices made straight in the beginning. Very offensive setup here.
My co-host, Jessica Gao.
We can do commentary over it.
Got the first round.
Oh man, I wish David had just let her do the commentary for the whole thing. That would have been so great. But we're going to be giving you guys some commentary on this video, and I have not actually seen this match because I didn't record it, so I get to give it to you live.
We've had any rounds, any activations yet. This is just setup for Blitz.
Okay.
And as you heard, they are playing the Blitz mission on Lothal Wastes.
Talking to 3PO.
Yeah, exactly.
Never tell me the odds.
No. What on earth?
So we've got Isaac on the left playing Rebels.
Nothing.
He has a list
it's a rock.
of...
It's in the desert. A rock in the desert.
Describing the terrain here.
Yes.
So we've got Isaac playing Han, 2 elite Wookiees, Gideon, 3PO, R2-D2, and a smuggler with Lion Ambush and Balance of the Force.
I'm
And
loving
we got
this matchup.
Andy.
Oh, same here. This is gonna be so
Andy on the right playing Vader,
And,
2
yeah, the
elite
smugglers
Stormtroopers.
Because I just wanted to these out now.
Oh, I see. Nice. Okay, I like it. I like it.
Elite Riots, 2 officers, Zillow Technique, and Rule by Fear. So as you just heard there, Isaac saying that normally he uses Lion Ambush on his Wookiees. But because of the mission, he wanted those Wookiees to charge, all of 4 of them to be charging out into the fray on turn 0. And so the smuggler will be hanging back because he does have to attach that Lion Ambush to a figure in his list. So here we go. First attack coming up here is Isaac activating the Wookiees. And it looks like he's attacking a Riot Trooper. And that's going to be 4 damage since that Riot Trooper has not had a chance to activate. So it does not have a block token on it. That was 2 spaces. That movie moves back 2. And now he can activate the second Wookiee. And looks like Isaac is playing Looking for a Fight. So that's going to give him a free movement point and a damage power token. Which it looks like he's going to use on this attack here. Try to finish off this Riot Trooper. And, oh! That is going to be 4 damage. That's enough to kill the Riot Trooper. So, let's talk about these lists. Elite Wookiees, normally I think they are 11 points. However, they have had their points cost reduced to 9 for IACP Season 1.
Let's play Dying Lunge before we go.
Alright, so it looks like Andy's going to play a Dying Lunge here with his Elite Riot to attack the Wookiee that just attacked him. Now, he could... No, I guess not. He couldn't move. He could move 2 spaces, but he'd still have the same target, so...
Red? Yep.
And he's using Professional to reroll the red die.
Damn it, you can just
So I didn't see the damage there. We know he's taking a strain.
Oh yeah! Completely forgot.
So it looks like that Wookiee took 4 damage from that attack, including the strain from, I believe it's called Crowd Control.
How much?
4. Actually, do I want to hide? Maybe. Because it's 3 from there. No, so I can't go with that. Yeah, I'll just...
So Isaac, not enough movement points, even with looking for a fight to get back to the objective.
Shoot me anyway, but at least...
Deciding if he wants to move that Wookiee out of sight of the Stormtroopers. Although they could move around to get him, even if he puts it there. But I think one of the Stormtroopers won't be able to get to that Wookiee. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that one Stormtrooper on the left. So let's talk about Andy's list. He is running Elite Stormtroopers, and they had their cost reduced from 9 points per group to 7. So they are quite efficient, although they still give 3 points a figure when they're defeated.
4, 2.
I'm going to +1 because I can.
Mhm. So it's an 8
Okay,
troops.
so Andy is now attacking the Wookiees that are still out in the open with the gray elite stormtrooper group, and he plays a positioning advantage to do 3 damage. And these Wookiees are super beefy. They are elite Wookiees, so they have 13 health. So here's the second shot. Andy deciding if he wants to re-roll, maybe get 4 damage instead of 3. Using Storm Tactics, I believe.
He is angry. Yay!
Or Squad Training, excuse me. Deals 3 damage to that Wookiee. Now has 7, which activates its ability.
Green.
2.
And re-rolling with Squad Training again for 2 damage. Oof, that was 9 damage to that Wookiee.
Okay, so that's it.
What do you mean? You do it.
3 attacks. So yeah, they are 9
yeah.
points. And now that Wookiee has Fury enabled, so it's going to get a bonus surge when it attacks.
Okay. I'll go with.
Moving the camera a little bit here.
Using your phone?
And again, big thank you to David Gao, a good friend of the show, for recording this footage and sending it over to the channel. Once again, thank you so much. And if you guys are playing Skirmish at your store and you've got a tripod and a camera, set it up. It's super easy to record, and you can send me the footage and I'll put it up on the channel and give you a big thank you and a shout out. Alright, so second activation for Isaac.
So I joined the Arkham Horror UK
1, 2, 3, 4,
Facebook
5
group,
across. 1, 2,
and
3,
I
4,
posted
5
that we have
across.
an event.
If I go 1, 2, focus to the 0.
He is at 6 activations total, so he's got 5 activations left.
1, 2.
Is James confirmed?
No, James can't.
The
We
Arkham?
can't do the Arkham next week, right?
So activating Gideon, moved him over, and it looks like he
Yeah, no, we've got. I think it's
Riot.
full.
Yep.
Yeah, unless people cancel,
looks like he
which
focused
could happen. But
the Wookiees that have not activated yet on the undamaged Wookiee. And now Andy's going to be activating his single Riot Trooper figure and attacking the damaged Wookiee, I'm assuming. Well, he could be attacking either.
1 damage and 1 strain.
I'll save him the space.
I'll take the strength damage.
Yep, and Isaac is electing to take the strain as damage from the
Again, and there's a
Riot
button
Trooper's
in the
ability.
drop. We'll definitely get 9.
Oh, by the way,
The stun batons deals surge if it deals
They're
damage.
asking- Every single person that's joined is asking, "Oh, what class do you want?" And there's one
So
full
then-
group that they're all coming together, so
Okay.
they've got all the classes covered there, and then and then the new people.
now
said
we
they're
have
asking what
Isaac.
classes,
I'm
so-
probably going to be activating these Wookiees.
I'll go with the other one.
This Wookiee's down to 3 health left.
Those
guys.
Wookiees win.
Yeah.
Already activated
so-
one
Oh,
group.
sorry. At the end of his activation, his spot taken.
Okay, so the focused one, which is that one.
And the Riot Trooper does get a
He is going to swing.
That's right.
block power token. So yeah, here we go. Wookiees, second group of Wookiees activating from
nice
Isaac.
roll.
Spicy. 3, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wait,
5.
And this is going to be the focused Wookiee, I believe.
I might be busy. I will face with you tonight.
Dice just off camera.
4.
Oh man,
But I
it
think
is
we're
just a
doing
mess in
2
there.
or 3 damage.
Yes.
Oh, this must be the one.
And then the other one.
Not
is
sure.
Swing. He is furious, but the weakened.
That's 5 damage to the Riot Trooper. And now he's saying he's attacking with the damaged one, which gives him an extra surge.
Does
Although it
3
looks like that
damage,
one's
so
weakened,
can't-
so that
can't
surge is
save
going to
them.
be
And then
cancelled.
also cleave 2 onto the next Stormtrooper.
But he rolled 2 surges naturally anyway, so that's going to let him do surge for +2 damage and surge for cleave
3
2,
points for the first skill.
killing the Riot Trooper and dealing 2 damage to the adjacent Stormtrooper there.
2 for that guy.
Ooh, these Wookiees are doing some damage.
Weaken gets removed.
And that weaken comes off of the Wookiee.
He will stay there. So Wookiees.
Now, these Wookiees are clearing out some of these Stormtroopers, but they still have to worry about Lord Vader that's standing there. He is going to be cutting through these Wookiees, which are already pretty heavily damaged from the troopers.
Are those all
But Isaac pretty well known for being a Han Rangers player, so not surprising to see Han Solo in his list. It looks like he decided to deploy Han a little further away from the action. Probably going to be double moving him at the end of the round to get that end of round shot. But now we've got the second group of elite stormtroopers about to activate. We've got the group of Wookiee. There's a Wookiee in the middle of the map there that has only 3 health left. Did they? I think 13.
Ray officer.
Yeah.
Which one's the hurt Wookiee? That one.
Yes.
3 health.
So that one has 4 damage on it. Oh, that
We
one.
want to there. Nor does
Pretty
that.
sure that one on the left has only the one with 4 damage.
Stay where it is.
Oh no, you know what? I'm wrong. It's the one. That's the one with 3 health.
Back to you. Sorry, it's the grey one.
So activated the officer, moving it onto the terminal and pushing forward that stormtrooper. And Isaac is going to activate. Looks like R2D2 to draw a card.
There's no way I can hit that range, so I'm just going to stay there.
And not going to bother using his second action. Just going to have R2 sit on that terminal and the objective there.
Probably block for the Wookiee, but I can't see this.
Looks like he's considering if he wants to move off of that to block. Mentioning that if he moved R2D2 next to the Wookiees, he could block line of sight to them, at least from the further away troopers.
You had initiative.
Not sure how valuable that will be though, because it won't stop the green troopers from getting in there to shoot.
Absolute bloodbath.
And we mentioned Andy's list with the mostly swarm. He has, let's see, it looks like 7 activations actually. No, actually only 6. So they're both at 6 activations because of lion ambush. And Andy's going to activate the second officer and move it onto the blue objective. And looks like we've got 3PO activating, focusing Han, and taking the red objective there. He's definitely going to be out of position, but I think what he's probably setting up here is having Han take some long-range shots, and 3PO is going to be there just feeding him focus tokens, kind of reloading him every turn. Alright, so we've got the green Stormtrooper group activating now. And moving on to the terminal there.
Actually, sorry, no.
And these troopers can be very aggressive and they take up a lot of space. They're very good, or not Wookiees, these troopers are very good at map control. So the back one's going to double move to take the objective. The blue objective away from R2. Second one gets to move up and take the terminal from R2 and shoot at that injured Wookiee. And that's 3 damage, enough to defeat that Wookiee. And that's going to be 5 points for Andy. A lot of victory points each time one of these Wookiees goes
So you
down.
want to make him angry? Please roll.
Not wise to anger a Wookiee.
No rerolls, so 3 damage.
Ooh, 3 damage from that one stray trooper shot into the
I
Wookiee.
shoot the injured one. Taken out of context, it's just. It's not great.
I shoot the injured animal.
That is going to turn on the Wookiee rage though, so he's going to be her fury.
People overhearing David and I's conversations in cafes and stuff, it's like, well, and then you would obviously play assassinate and like, you know, it's just like,
What have you got? Just Han, isn't it?
Emma and I often have a one-on-one role-playing game going on in some kind of, horrendous post-apocalyptic wasteland, and again, the overheard comments there about caliber of bullet that you're going to use.
Alright,
who
so
deserves
it
to be
looks like we're
ambushed
down to the
next
last
turn.
act for each player. Isaac figuring out which way to send Han for that end of round shot.
10 range. 2.
I see they're starting to disperse.
Yes.
There has been
The
a lot
troopers
of
have moved
blood
away
violence.
from the center, so it's going to be a long shot for Han.
Five.
Yes.
You know,
And he's
like,
also got that blocking terrain kind of blocking his view.
Just aggressive negotiations.
It's been taken out. 2
Wookiee
One
and
Wookiee and
Ryan.
two
Let's see.
Hmm.
He could move 2 spaces down, 2 spaces to the left of that blocking terrain square between the blocking and the yellow objective, and then he'd have a pretty decent shot, but he wouldn't be getting any victory points or from the objectives. If he moves to the yellow, like he said, it would be a range 10 shot to the nearest trooper.
Yeah,
And he doesn't have Hera, so
oh, that's heavy.
tough choice here.
What's in?
Looks like he's considering doubling back to his deployment zone
Slap pack terrain.
Of course you did.
to help out R2. Oh, no, he's going to be on the outside.
It's just the bottle cap.
So not controlling any objectives there, but he will have a shot to that green trooper. Looks like a range 6 end of round shot, which is pretty easy for Han.
I think the Fallout stuff would.
Now we get to see what Vader will do.
Are there minis in here?
That one is just.
So
Oh, and it comes
we've
with
got a
games.
6 health Wookiee in the middle of the map,
Gas
I
pumps.
kind of want the desert.
and the Wookiee on the edge is undamaged, but also completely protected by a soft layer of stormtroopers around it.
What do you want, like a?
What's the size?
But those Wookiees are definitely within Vader's
All
grasp.
these huts, they can be like Tusken Raider huts.
That's true, actually.
Definitely strange to see an Imperial list without Thrawn these days. So Vader's not going to have as many power tokens as he would normally have, but here he goes. He's going to move in, and it looks like I'm
Vader.
assuming he's attacking the damaged one.
Or not.
I'm gonna re-roll.
Ooh,
this
not a
one.
great
Yep.
roll.
Nice.
Gonna reroll Driven by Hatred.
That
Gets
could
another
be
extra 2 damage.
Hits you plus one.
+1.
6 dead, yeah.
I think it's, yeah, just trying.
6 does exactly 6 damage to kill the Wookiee.
How much health you got left?
Let's see. Taken 7, which means 6
6
left.
left. No, I'm good.
And he decides
generous
he
of
is fine letting the Wookiee die. Curious what his option was there.
Alright, so.
So not really anything else he could have spent his surges on. Alright, moving to the end of round 1. And Isaac has initiative, so he is going to be doing the first end of round shot, and it looks like he has a nice clean shot at Vader there.
End round effects. You
Yes.
score 4, I score 2.
Yes. I go to 10, you go to 12.
I do one. 6.
So that was a second. King for Andy's at 10.
End round effects.
Starting with me. Han is gonna go for that. Stormtrooper. Yes.
So Han is electing to shoot at the Stormtrooper instead of Vader. Probably just wants to try and clear out as many bodies
Good range. Easy. Yeah, cool.
easily kills that Stormtrooper in one shot.
That is completely fine.
And that's going to focus the other green trooper,
Okay.
thanks to Final Stand or Last Stand.
Over to pass initiative. Yeah.
Important to remember these troopers have
Oh, yeah.
5 health. They're elites.
Want to make a Wookiee a little bit angry?
Very angry.
Okay, yeah.
And Vader's going to be doing his end of round attack on the
You do
Wookiee.
exactly fine. Oh, come on.
2 red die, removes a die with Driven by Hatred, but he does get +1 damage.
Thank you.
Gonna use his reroll.
Officer training to reroll that red.
And I'm going to reroll another die with Officer's Training, which also lets him draw a
You
card.
got one job, Andy. Just want to make
And 4 damage dealt to the Wookiee.
And over to me. Start round. I'm not playing a start round.
Same.
So initiative moving over to Andy. Sounds like no start of round cards
Here we go with Vader.
for either
How
player.
much health has he got? He's gonna play Pummel.
Ow.
And you're gonna start with Vader and play Pummel on the 9 health Wookiee.
Not to worry.
He's after me.
I don't think this Wookiee is very long for this world.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Big hit,
8.
sounds like.
8. Still alive.
8 damage, 1 short. That Pummel's gonna do it.
Survive.
Although Force Choke would have done the job too.
Second attack.
Yeah, choke
You
your
play
second
Pummel.
attack, I guess.
Yeah, at least I think I'm alive. Let's see. 5, 8, 11, 12. Yeah, alive and 1.
In fact, if I had not re-rolled that,
Yeah.
Oh
you'd be
yeah.
dead.
Yeah, but you pummel, so that's the only pummel target you have.
Yeah, because you have to make a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, the pummel, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, remembering that he did play Pummel, so he gets to attack twice.
Right, that's another Wookiee gone.
And removing the
Well,
Wookiee,
he's
so
gonna
another
finish
5 points.
Intimidation.
Andy.
Oh no, because you used both actions.
The Wookiees not looking so hot.
No, not really.
But the
And
question
both players
is,
had gotten
have they
2
done
points
enough?
last round.
Oh, sorry. Dying Lunge. That's okay.
No.
And Isaac's now going to play Dying Lunge with the Wookiee.
So you just would have gone 1, 2.
Probably the first time
And sliced into
First time I've ever seen the actual art figure on the artwork doing the Dying Lunge. And he's gonna go after that Stormtrooper.
I will then discard Force Lightning to live.
So thanks to Fury, he's getting an extra Surge, which lets him Surge for +2. And Andy's going to be using
And
Zillow
now-
Technique, discarding Force Lightning to add a block, keeping that Stormtrooper alive by 1 health.
And every round
Okay,
you
so
can
my turn.
exhaust it once to
Negate
reduce the pierce value of an attack by 2.
I mean, I'm all, yeah. Fight back. R2. So draw a card.
Offensively.
And I'll shoot that Stormtrooper.
I don't think there's, except for R2, almost no figures in Isaac's list have Pierce, so that part of Zillow's probably not going to come into play this match.
So,
But R2 is going to attack the 1 health Stormtrooper.
And I
I
know
don't
how.
tap this, right?
Alright, so
Did you
no
lose all
damage.
your
That's
games?
R2.
I did.
At least I
We're getting
forget.
schooled.
You're gonna get
But it looks like he did not roll the damage he needed. Or the Stormtrooper must have blocked it.
It's gonna be for a card I don't know.
So Andy activating the Grey Stormtroopers here. This Wookiee's going to be in trouble, although it is full health.
Reroll that kind of
Vader.
worse.
and the card has his upgrade
2 damage.
built into
Which one?
Okay.
The choke one.
2 damage to the Wookiee. And I'm going to charge forward towards Isaac's deployment zone.
Awesome.
Reroll that green.
Again, squad tactics to reroll.
Then reached angry level.
Nice 3 damage through no blocks rolled on the black die. Yep. And these Stormtrooper attacks, if you only have a single defense die, they add up very quickly. They used to be very powerful without needing any help from the IACP, but
that's good.
3 damage.
Okay.
and 3 damage. But as we got these queen pieces like IG and Vader who had passive defense bonuses, it got harder and harder for these swarm lists to kind of punch through it, and then
How much damage?
Spectre Cell just made it impossible. So Stormtroopers getting a little bit of help and doing a lot of work here against these Wookiees who came out in the same wave, I believe, or at least for expansion packs, as the Elite Stormtrooper booster pack.
Yeah. Gideon.
I might be wrong though. So it looks like Han is going to be activating. Oh no, excuse me. Gideon activating, pushing Han up to that objective and focusing him as well.
Smuggler. Can in.
I was close.
Oh yeah. When does it do that?
After one of my activations. It's whenever you like, you can come in.
No, it has to be after. So that's
So checking to see when does Lion Ambush trigger.
I stunned Vader the turn
As
before,
is,
so he
as
could
so
as well.
at that point, and you have now.
Yeah, that would have happened.
Actually, if I
after
hadn't stunned him, I'm
activating
pretty sure he would have just
Cool.
killed me that turn. Like all my guys. Because they're all bunched up as well.
So as soon as Isaac would have 3 or more exhausted and or defeated groups, he would have to deploy his smuggler. So it looks like that smuggler's gonna pop out of hiding,
The smuggler has joined the fray. Just realized.
and he has placed
What have you
him
done?
exactly 8 spaces away from that yellow objective. So actually not bad. I think this smuggler's gonna generate value over his
Let's
cost
go with the green Stormies.
in this game.
He's going to shoot R2 with his focus.
Alright, so now we've got the green ones activating, and it looks like they are going for good old R2. So focus attack,
And then the next one's going to be
and didn't see the dice there, but I am going to assume it was a dodge with lucky.
Nope.
And these stormtroopers are going to be moving back around the corner away from Han. R2 did not dodge this time. It looks like he took 3 damage. So halfway there, R2, very sturdy little droid. Does not go down easily, especially to stormtrooper bolts. And now it is on Isaac.
Han will go 1, 2.
Here's Han's activation.
He'll shoot that stormtrooper.
And again, going after stormtroopers. Completely ignoring Vader. Just going to try and rack up some victory points and clear out the board.
1, 2.
These stormtroopers are going to do a lot of work as long as they're on the table because there's so many objectives worth 2 points for them to take. Not great. He's got 5 damage showing on the dice he rolled.
It's got to change plan.
Yeah, that's terribly annoying. Yeah.
And it looks like Andy discarding for Zillow again to keep a stormtrooper alive by 1 health. And that is the power of Zillow technique, is just how inefficient it can make the attacks against the Imperial player. You know, you want your attack to do exactly enough damage to kill a figure,
Shoot Wookiee.
but when they Zillow and keep it alive with 1, you have to spend a whole nother action to get rid of it, most likely. So, on finishing his activation,
Yeah, 1, 2, shoot Wookiee.
very close to Vader, who, well, Vader has already activated, but Vader will get to do Driven by Hatred first, because Andy has initiative this round, so Han is in the danger zone there. And then Andy activated an officer. Looks like he did a couple damage to that Wookiee.
So he is very angry right now.
And despite having 13 health, these Wookiees did go down pretty quickly. We're down to the last one.
For 4 damage. Again. Grizzly contest
So
killing.
once again,
Well,
4 damage to a stormtrooper, but luckily
mill 2 cards, take a death blow.
it looks like he had the card to deal 2 damage to it.
So,
What is that card?
that is
Grizzly Contest gets to deal 2 damage, and he suffers 2 strain during his activation. And I think nicely that ignores Zillow technique since it's not an attack. That's going to be another 3 points for Isaac, and a focus for one of the gray stormtroopers. If Andy remembers, I don't see the focus token yet. He did remember the first time. So a very close game still.
Unless you specifically want
Oh, so Java gives you an extra point on
But
those.
Andy definitely has the advantage of numbers.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
because it says any abilities targeting hostile figures.
Errata specific.
But it doesn't target hostile figures though.
Oh.
It identifies hostile figures, but it doesn't target. It's not choose a hostile figure.
Because it says when a hostile. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I mean,
Side table talk.
getting a point every time your opponent kills is
Yeah,
kind of dumb.
that's true. Yeah, that clearly is broken.
That's clearly how it works.
Jabba clearly broken. Definitely against Andy's list. If player had Jabba, that would be a lot of extra victory points there.
Just smuggler. 1, 2, 3.
And now that
Smuggling.
officer, the white officer, is going to be moving up and taking another objective. And Isaac's
Are you allowed?
last activation, well, actually second to last activation. Moving the smuggler onto the yellow objective. I don't think he activated 3PO, but maybe he was just skipping it to stay on the
mission
objective.
Mission effects.
I gain 3, you gain 2, so 6 to 2. So it takes me to 19, takes you to 19 as well.
Oh, no.
Oh no, it takes you to 21. Yep. End around for you first.
1, 2, choke R2.
Yep, one more card. I mean, you're just going to dock energy. Han is going to shoot.
So, driven by hatred, end of round, force choke on R2D2, taking him down to 1 health left. And Han is going to make an end of round shot on the damaged gray Stormtrooper,
That one.
the one next to the Wookiee. And I think I agree. I definitely like Isaac's strategy here of ignoring Vader. I think it's correct given that the Stormtroopers are still giving their full 9 points in victory points if he defeats them all.
You were cross-trained now? You could have survived that.
So I think it's smart to ignore Vader here, and just, especially since the Wookiees just would not have contributed to that goal at all. There's no way elite Wookiees are going to cut through Vader's armor. So Isaac has the initiative. This is round 3, and he's going to be activating that Wookiee before it gets taken out.
Like this Stormtrooper.
And it looks like he's going to go after that 1 health Stormtrooper.
Were you attacking?
This one.
Yeah, you have a crew.
Oh my god, that's a lot of ones on the reds. Yeah, I'll just cleave to kill this
Hang on
guy.
a second.
Sorry.
So it looks like what's happening is he attacked the one that had 3 health left, with the idea that he would finish off the 1 health Stormtrooper with the Wookiee's cleave surge ability, since he has the extra surge from Fury.
Oh yeah, sure.
Might have been a little greedy there though, because now it looks like he's not going to be able to
I'm gonna do
kill it.
Sky Force Rush.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just search for +2, so
And-
I'll go someone left.
Only
Way too many
doing...
ones in that red.
Okay, so yeah, had 3 health left. Was threatening, was only going to do 1 damage, but was threatening to cleave the one with 1 health next to him. And he used Zillow technique to add another block so that that Isaac couldn't spend the surge to cleave, because it looks like he wasn't going to do damage to the original target. So because of that, Isaac was forced to spend the surge on the +2 damage, and only did 2 damage to the original target, which is not enough to kill it, leaving both of them at 1 health.
Reroll that.
Well, here's a triple block, at least from the Wookiee. Squad training. And that Wookiee down to 3 health.
And that one's gonna shoot. Sorry.
Stormtrooper moving out into the open to next to Han.
That's the one.
Only needs to do 3 damage. Can definitely do it.
3 left.
Oh, like maybe he's
Stick.
about to like go down like that. And he could be like drawing back.
Oh, the Wookiee survives with 1 health. Deals 2 damage. So
Yeah. R2.
those were the green Stormtroopers.
No, I'm not expecting that.
Walking
No.
on purpose.
R2's gonna drop it.
And R2D2 is still alive behind the Wookiee warrior there, and it means he's taking up that crucial space in which a single figure can control the objective and the terminal. So here's R2 attacking a Stormtrooper with 1 health, but rolls no damage.
Stun and weaken. That's R2.
Just talking to each other. At the end of the day, you know, I mean, if you're
Isaac's in a rough spot here. These troopers have survived a little bit longer than they maybe deserve to, thanks to the power of Zillow technique, which means that unless Isaac deals with them, they are going to start running around and taking victory points on the map.
Let's go.
Still has a full health Han though. I'm curious to see who Vader is going to attack.
1 health left.
But we're going to start with the Stormtroopers. And that finishes off the 1 health Wookiee. That's another 6 points because their full point is 11. Andy is taking the lead here.
His hand standing next to Vader.
And can't
Yeah.
see.
Terrible
It
idea.
is like looking in the wrong direction.
They're both looking in the wrong direction though. It's like
Let's see, he's got... Oh, but you know what? That's right, the Wookiees don't score their full deployment, just the figure cost. So Andy is quickly catching up here. So right now Andy is at 26 points and Isaac is at 25. Although it's important to note that Isaac actually believes he's at 22 right now. He didn't adjust his victory point dial when he killed that Stormtrooper with the Grizzly contest, so he actually missed the 3 points, but we're going to be keeping track of the victory points as if he had caught it for this game. But that might have an influence on how Isaac decides to play out these next few activations. So Han activating, but stepped past Vader, allowing him to play Parting Blow. Vader gets to attack Han.
5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, yeah.
Sounds like Han is going to be
Okay,
taking
actually,
8 here.
Question. With the new wording on LAN, does that mean it can be played during your activation? No, because it's still. It's
Yeah,
two
it's still
moves.
just.
So yeah, you can't play on the Lamb while Han's activating because you wouldn't be able to spend the movement points immediately. So it looks like Han's going to take 8 from that hit. That's a big one. And with the new Radon on the Lamb, he would have had to do that under normal circumstances before Vader attacked. So that's a change to on the Lamb that was done for IACP. So Han continues his activation and looks like he gets the kill on that Stormtrooper there.
is Miracle Worker on MHD?
So that 8 damage on Han is going to be a big problem for Isaac. That means he's only got 4 health left, and that's just 2 force chokes from dying and giving up 10 points. So we'll have to see how Isaac maybe tries to protect that 10 points from Vader's force chokes. And at this point in the game, both players need to really be paying close attention to their victory points and the scores, and need to start counting to 40 and finding their path to the win. Because that's really, that's what matters, is counting up to 40 and finding enough points in play and on the board to get to 40. And so they need to be looking at what's their current score and how many points do they need and how many points are left on the table to collect. Alright. Andy activating Officer, Gray Officer, moving him onto the green objective and using orders to move the White Officer closer to the spire.
The amount of dodges your assassin roll, I think.
Okay, Isaac activating, looks like Gideon, playing Planning.
It's gonna go. 1, 2,
and moves him over to the yellow objective that the smuggler was occupying.
And the white officer's going to get 1, 2, 3. Order this stormtrooper. One.
Trickery. He's like pointed at Vader.
And the white officer activates, moves over, and orders the undamaged stormtrooper closer to the spire as well.
That's one of my like.
Isaac down to just 3PO and the smuggler. Now, if Isaac can kill those 2 stormtroopers, that'll give him 6 points. He'll go up to 34. And then, maybe with objectives, that could take him over the top. And that would probably be his victory condition. Killing those stormtroopers is going to be how he's going to win this game. He's actually got pretty good board control right now, thanks to... he's got 3 figures on the right side of the map controlling objectives, and he still has R2 alive. That is going to score objective points before Vader can finish him off. So this is actually still a very close game.
It's just some bases and some guns.
Is it even instruction on how to build it? I don't think so.
There are no instructions.
No instructions.
No instructions. It's very easy to build, but there are no instructions.
Right, like how that doesn't
Not
draw
sure
that
who we're
eye.
waiting
Where's the
on.
I
advertising?
guess you buy it if you know what you
Oh,
want.
It draws the eye because it's a big base. It must be something good.
Right.
looks like Vader has actually not activated yet.
Didn't even have any art on the boxes.
So that's actually going to be a problem for Isaac.
Stickers saying what it was on.
So Vader's stunned, but
Games Workshop used to do that.
he can still force choke R2-D2 from where he's at.
3PO is just
That worked out fine.
Vader has to get
3PO
with the stun and choke hand.
for the... Yep, so he's going to unstun
Strain.
and force choke R2,
I'll
I
teach you
believe.
not to remember the Force.
on military.
Oh no, is he going for Han? Okay, so he looks like he force choked Han instead. Because otherwise Isaac wouldn't have discarded a card.
So then, ready cards.
So by going after Han there instead of taking out R2, Andy is letting Isaac get 2 victory points here for free that he otherwise wouldn't have gotten
Oh
if
no, no, no,
R2 had
sorry.
died
I thought there were 3 points each.
before the end of the round.
No.
Language, please.
Oh, sorry,
And
sorry.
I think maybe what's happening is Andy is worried about take initiative, but we actually saw quickly during the flip, during one of Vader's force chokes, that take initiative was discarded from Isaac's deck. So Andy is actually going to be guaranteed the first activation of this round with Vader. So he would have been able to take out Han no matter what with a end of round force choke and then top of round force choke again. So Isaac controls 4 objectives, earning him 8 victory points. Andy controls just 1 with his officer, so he's going to get 2. Score goes to officially 36-28. Isaac performing his end of round attack on a stormtrooper here. That's going to defeat it and bring him up to 39. At this point, he is just 1 stormtrooper kill away from getting the victory. But again, end of round, Vader moves up and force choke on Han, who had just 2 health left, defeating him, getting 10 points for Andy, shooting him up to 38 points. And now he's going to get initiative, and R2's just got 1 health left.
Pass initiative.
So, yep, Andy gets the initiative, and he just needs 2 points to win. That's going to be a force choke on R2 for the game. So even though it's actually closer than they thought,
I almost lost it. I was like,
Andy.
shit, they're all worth 3.
41-39 if Isaac had been keeping track of that stormtrooper kill, but in the end it didn't matter, and it was a very close game. Really fun to watch, fun to see these figures on the board again. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.